All right, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another extra SROS video. Yesterday, we previewed the very anticipated Western Conference Finals matchup between the Spurs and the Thunder. Today, we're doing maybe a less anticipated Conference Finals matchup, but I still think it'll be a good one. Cleveland versus New York. So the Cavs beat the Pistons in Game 7 yesterday. Another Game 7 stinker. I think we've gotten, 4 Game 7s so far in the playoffs, and one of them has lived up to somewhat of the hype, and Tatum didn't even play in that game. It was obviously Celtics Sixers Game 7. That was a good game, but Magic Pistons Game 7 was a stinker. Nobody really showed up, I think, outside of Paolo. Toronto Cleveland really was a stinker as well. Jared Allen just turns into modern day Dwight Howard in Game 7s, and then last night was definitely a stinker. So yeah, Game 7s, are they overhyped? Maybe. Teams empty the clip early on. Teams are maybe fatigued by then, and it's just a ton of shooting variance that goes into that one game sample size, which I don't know. Game 7s obviously still go to the team that's the favorite majority of the time, but imagine we just had a March Madness style NBA playoffs. You'd get one bad shooting night and you're done. The Thunder are done if they shot poorly in that only game. Obviously that would never happen. So we are going to preview the Knicks versus the Cavs. It feels so weird right now as a Knicks fan, and I will preface, there's going to be some bias, and I try to, actually not become a super biased, analyst or just kind of commentator about just the NBA, and I feel like you guys recognize that as well. If you watched any of my content pre, 2020, I would say, my early days in college or even, high school, I would definitely be more biased for the Knicks. I would, hate on anybody that they're playing against, but the Knicks sucked then, too, so it was hard to really say that they were going to do anything special. Now, I did pick the Knicks to win. No, I picked the Knicks to lose in the NBA Finals to the Denver Nuggets. We're not going to talk about that, but I could say that that was a little bit of bias, or it was good analysis because the Knicks are favorites right now to make it out of the East. It feels like the Knicks have been eliminated because they last played 9 days between tomorrow, Game 1 of the ECF, to when they swept Philadelphia on Mother's Day. Remember the lottery? Kind of feels like a little bit ago. That was the last time the Knicks played a playoff basketball game, which you can look at it at two ends. It's the tale as old as time. Is it rust or rest? What is going to benefit the Knicks here? Now, I will say, for OG's health, this is perfect, because if Cleveland got that series done in 5 or 6, I'm not sure OG is playing game number 1. I believe on Sunday or Saturday. Maybe it was Sunday. He was when was it? Friday even? I forget that he was a full participant in practice. Maybe it was Friday, which is obviously encouraging for what you want to see between round 2 to round 3. And OG was playing out of his freaking mind. He was amazing in round number 1 against Atlanta. He was averaging 21 points and 4 rebounds on 64-44 splits in the first 2 games against Philadelphia. Shades of basically the Indiana Pacers second round series back in 2024, which definitely gives you some PTSD a little bit because you thought maybe the Knicks could have won that series if they stayed relatively healthy. That didn't end up happening. So if OG's good to go in game number 1, let's ride. Cleveland, majority for the most part, is healthy. They've had some guys kind of in and out of the lineup or banged up a little bit in round number 2, but for the most part, they were healthy out there. I mean, Sam Merrill, I think, was the only guy that was injured for 1 game, and he played great in game 7, so he looks definitely good to go for round number 2. Going back to the rust part, hey, the Knicks offense was looking like the best offense in the playoffs. They were operating on all cylinders, firing on all cylinders, and they could not stop the Karl-Anthony Towns kind of flare actions they were running, and then they would run the OG Anunoby cut, or it would be Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges, and guys were playing out of their freaking minds. They shot 90% from 3 in the first 20 minutes of that Game 4 game against Philadelphia. They could not miss. Mikal Bridges, 63% in round 2. Cat was 61%. OG, 64%. Brunson, 51%. Josh Hart, 49%. Shamet, 59%. Clarkson, 58%. Alvarado, 54%. Shooting from the field. It was incredible. Now, this could also go into the Sixers' poor defense. They don't really have much perimeter defense out there. Oubre could do all right. Paul George could do all right. Edgecombe could do all right. And then I guess I should say that they don't really have much of a rim protection because Embiid is just not the defender he used to be, which is going to be a completely different ball game going up against Cleveland, where you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. Now, the Knicks beat the Cavs in round 1 of the 2023 playoffs. These teams look drastically different. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, none of those guys are here anymore. Isaiah Hartenstein as well. Cleveland definitely looks a little bit different as they ended up having the big trade this year, Darius Garland for James Harden. They ended up trading for DeAndre Hunter last year. Then they flipped him this year at the deadline as well. And you would hope that, hey, this is the healthiest we've been in a playoff series, because in 2023, I think Garland was kind of banged up. everybody was hurt for them in 2024. Mobley, Garland, I think Hunter were all banged up last year against Indiana in round number 2. So they're kind of all systems go for the first time in the Donovan Mitchell Cavs era. There's always that thing in the back of their head, or at least for Donovan Mitchell, I have never made it to a conference finals. That is out the window now. So I think that is just like a sigh of relief and maybe a little bit less pressure throughout his mindset and his mentals when you're getting into the series. Donovan Mitchell was good in round number 2. He wasn't like top 5 player potential Donovan Mitchell, or top 10 player even. He shot 28% from 3, 45% from the field. He showed up in game 7. He struggled in game 6. It's just a flip-flopping back and forth. James Harden shot 38% from the field and 29% from 3 throughout that series. A lot of flopping too. And then you all saw that where he flopped on the 3-point shot. They didn't wipe down the sweat, and Dean Wade tripped on it, which led to a Tobias Harris fast break layup in game number 6. They're going to call this less and less, but I do want to give Evan Mobley his flowers. I think he's actually been rock solid for them in the playoffs for actually now most of his career. And he was good, especially defensively against Detroit. They basically made Jalen Duren lose a lot of money in that series. Jared Allen, for the most part, was really good in that series, especially game 7 yet again. Strus was still inconsistent, but he like when he's on, hey, he's going to win you a game or two. Sam Merrill was on from 3. Dennis Schroeder played just fine, even though it was a smaller sample size for him. Dean Wade kind of struggled a little bit, at least to like play meaningful minutes for the Cavs out there, but he still appeared in, I think, all 7 of the games, and he even started 6 of them. So the Cavs and Knicks played 3 times this year. They played like early in the year. It was like, I think the Knicks, it might have been actually opening night for both these teams. It was October 22nd. The Knicks ended up winning by 8. Completely different teams now. You can't really look into that game too much just because, I mean, the Knicks, they added Alvarado, but everything has been different with their offense since the playoffs started. And then as for Cleveland, they have James Harden. They had one of the best games. I think it was the Eastern Conference game of the year. So I did a top 10 games of the regular season for Enjoy. And did I have it higher? I mean, I had the Bam 83-point game up high just because of that. But the game itself, not really that great of a game. Like the Knicks-Cavs game, I think was the best regular season Eastern Conference matchup this year. The Knicks came back and they won 126-124. It was electric. And then Cleveland ended up beating New York in February, shortly after the James Harden trade. And that was kind of a dominant win. They ended up winning by 15. I remember it really wasn't close for most of that game as well. And the Knicks were hitting like kind of a wake up period. They were just like, is this team for real? I mean, the Knicks were very inconsistent at times when they were playing like good teams or really good teams, specifically in the Eastern Conference. And yeah, they ended up losing that game 109-94. But these teams are completely different. For Cleveland, could they have lost in round 1? Sure. Could they have lost in round 2? Sure. But this team is in the conference finals. It's still impressive to get to the conference finals. But the Knicks will be by far and away their toughest offensive test. No disrespect to Scotty Barnes, but like, honestly, it's not even disrespect to Scotty Barnes or Cade Cunningham. It's just kind of the help around those guys. Like, yes, Colin Murray-Boyles was great. Cat's going to be a different beast offensively. Tobias Harris was great at times. Cat's going to be a different beast as a number 2 option because Jalen Brunson has been, like, this isn't hyperbolic. He has been a top 3 playoff performer in the last 4 years since he's been with the Knicks. Like, it feels like if you look up any stats, like counting stats, basically since he's been a Knick in their playoff games, he's been out of his freaking mind. He's been like peak Steph Curry numbers in the playoffs, but we'll see how good enough the team is around him. I mean, he averaged 29 points and 6 assists on his lowest touches in a playoff series since becoming a Knick because they were dominating Philadelphia so much on 51, 44, 92 splits. Like, this man is a superstar right now playing like a 1A. I don't know what we're going to like say if it's a wrong take or a right take, but the Becky Hammond 1A take is on the line here. I think, I don't know. Like, if you make it out of the Eastern Conference, can we say that Jalen Brunson could be a 1A? I guess it's like, do you think Tyrese Halliburton could be a 1A? And I think if people say so, then you got to say Jalen Brunson if they end up winning this series. I mean, as long as OG is healthy, they're going to probably put him on, I think they're going to put him on Donovan Mitchell. Ooh, actually, I don't know what they're going to do. They might put Josh Hart on Jared Allen because it's really, well, it's a decent height difference, but Josh Hart's like a better rebounder, you could say, than Jared Allen. And Jared Allen is not like a 7-foot big man out there. They'll probably put Cat on Mobley. They're going to put Brunson on either Strus or Merrill, but they're going to have to switch a ton. They're going to put, I would say, Mikal Bridges on Harden and OG on Donovan Mitchell. They could vice versa that, but I don't think we would see OG on Mobley unless Mobley is just absolutely dominating and they want to put like, I think Josh Allen can guard James Harden. It's not like you have to worry about like James Harden is a completely different player than Tyrese Maxey is in terms of their offensive game flow. So as long as you're not going to be too overzealous, you're not going to bite on the pump fakes with Harden, you can guard him just fine. Where you might actually put Hart on Harden. And obviously you want to keep Brunson away from him because you don't want Brunson to get into foul trouble. Mitchell Robinson had his way with Cleveland a couple years ago in that round one series. That just kind of, I don't know, it didn't make anybody lose money because Allen ended up getting paid, Mobley ended up getting paid, but that was like maybe the best playoff series I've seen from Mitchell Robinson's career, and it was his first playoff series. He averaged 8 points, 10 rebounds, 3.4 stocks a night. He shot 64% from the field, and he kind of single-handedly outplayed both Mobley and Allen. And hey, we still had that question, I think, leading up to this year's playoffs, which we'll see how it looks in this series. Can you have Mobley and Allen out there at the same time? It's worked relatively so far. Like I said, though, this is going to be their toughest test as a defensive matchup team. Now, for the Knicks defense, it's been good. It's not been perfect, but it's definitely been good in the playoffs. And I think that as long as you're fighting over screens, I think you can hide Brunson a little bit out there defensively. McBride is healthy, and McBride, I think, and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges do a phenomenal job chasing guys. So if you need to switch onto like a floppy action for Strus or Merrill, those are the guys you want because they're very quick. They're very, I guess, eager to get over the screen, and they're never going to take a second off. Like Deuce McBride, cornerback in another lifetime. Mikal Bridges is cardio off the charts, and Josh Hart is just like that feisty pest out there, and they're going to make your lives not like a living hell, but it's just going to make it a little bit more challenging for you. Jose Alvarado, they could deploy at times as well. I mean, there's not that much of a height difference between Alvarado and like Donovan Mitchell, but Donovan Mitchell is obviously a superstar offensive player. So if I had to kind of come up with my prediction in this series, it's like this is where I go back to I don't want to be too biased as a Knicks fan, but the Knicks are currently on a what? They're on a 7-game playoff winning streak. We'll see how game one looks. It's tomorrow night. Like it's a quick turnaround for Cleveland. Like I said, like it's a 1 night turnaround. Well, I guess 1-2 night turnaround, 48-hour turnaround time, 45-hour turnaround time if you want to be technical between the ending of game 7. The Knicks are getting a 9-day rest or an 8.9 day rest. So we'll see how game 1 looks. The Knicks do get home court now, so they get games 1, 2, 5, and 7, which is going to be huge. The Garden is obviously going to be rocking. The Knicks ended up, it's also crazy too, like I'm looking, Cat played 23 minutes in round number 2 a night. I know we got into foul trouble, but that's kind of insane. But the Knicks last year, I would say, I forget if Indiana was favorites betting-wise going into the series, but for the first 3.5 quarters, I know I had the same thought as a lot of Knicks fans. This team is going to the NBA Finals, and then Aaron Nesmith decided to go, you know what, the Sliders are on 100 from 3, I'm not going to miss. And then Halliburton's 3 bounces in, and you knew they were going to lose in overtime off that momentum swing. Like, yeah, it's going to be the rest versus rust thing. I'm hoping OG's good. I know Knicks fans, like, we can attest to, like, you hear OG's day to day. He had that elbow thing when they acquired him. It turned into like a 5-week thing. OG was going to play game 7 against Indiana 2 years ago. He played 3 minutes and couldn't come back into the game. And I worry about OG's health. Like, if you were to tell me OG's going to be 90% throughout this series if he plays game 1 or 100% if he misses game 1, plays game 2, I'd probably take the latter there. I just want him 100% healthy because this man has been playing like a baby Kawhi Leonard like in his Raptors days in the playoffs. He hasn't missed, it feels like, and he's giving you amazing defense yet again. A part of me like wants to say the Knicks in 5 just because of how well they played basically since going down 2-1 to Atlanta. Both their losses to Atlanta were it was a tough game 2 choke, but they lost by 1 point in each of the 2 games, so their point differential is off the charts. Cleveland definitely likes to play with their food a little bit. I think even what we saw in the regular season on that Christmas Day game and plenty of times against Toronto and Detroit, they could blow leads. They could be up by 17 midway through the second, and it might not matter too much at the end of the day. Now in game 7, they put their foot on the gas and they were able to just take care of business against Detroit, but I do feel like it will be different against this Knicks team. So I'm going to go Knicks in 5, which I don't like to do. Like, I might just say it's going to be Knicks in 5 or 6. It's just like kind of a cop-out to always say 6 games. Like, I think I said Knicks in 6 against Philly. They swept them. I'm going to go Knicks in 5. I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that down below. Like I said, that might be a little bit biased than me. I think the Knicks win this series. I just think there's a better chance it's in 5 than it's in 7. But who knows? Maybe I should just use the cop-out and say Knicks in 6. Cleveland could 100% win this series. It's not like the Knicks are like the 2025 Thunder. They're not the 2017 Warriors. This team is definitely beatable. If you get in the right matchups, you knock down your shots, and you can get this team in foul trouble. You can get Cat in foul trouble. You can get Mitchell Robinson in foul trouble. You can get Mitchell Robinson to the free throw line, and you can do Hack and Mitch yet again. Force the Knicks' hand with like Arrow Hoop Porty out there. Force their hand with maybe Jordan Clarkson or Landry Shamet. Jordan Clarkson didn't hit a single three in round number 2. He didn't play like that many meaningful minutes, but he played some meaningful minutes. He went just 0 of 2 from 3. Landry Shamet shot 58% from 3. Will that happen again? I would say there's going to be some shooting regression, but you never know. So yeah, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in this series down below. I will hopefully be able to get a reaction video up on the channel here after game 1 tonight between the Spurs and the Thunder. I think even if it's a blowout, I feel like it would be a statement either way. So I'll probably make a video about it. So make sure you are subscribed. I actually think I was going to do a Bleacher Report mock draft reaction on this channel, but I might low-key upload it on my SROS channel just because I don't have like a great video idea for the day. So you can be on the lookout for that as well. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.